as far as the throne goes, we're still going to be looking for those same items, hoping for something profitable to start with, other than the obligatory magic key.
Well, we've got some big bucks and big stick. Erdrick's sword to start things off.
Wow, starting with a big stick and stop spell for our first spell. That may or may not come in handy depending on what the enemies do just outside of Tantagel. Lots of swamp and hills around the starting area, though. And yes, the big L is strength agility, I believe.
JJ Schmidt getting on the board with a Magic Wyvern that gives 9 experience and 62 gold to start. Lavkian having a little trouble with the Magic Wyvern, and a Poltergeist taking out Jay Coper.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the... well, there's a Droll Magi taking JJ Schmidt down.
And Warlocks are strong. Hitting Lavkian for 44 and sending him back. And hitting Jay Coper for 53.
And we have the Fun Police with Sleep near Tantagel as well. Thankfully not hitting too hard, but still hard enough that it will send anyone back early on.
Well, it looks like that early Golden Throne Room is going to be pretty much for naught with the early deaths across the board here as a Droll sends Jay Coper back. We've got a Stone Man on JJ Schmidt's side who has Baby Breath.
That could, with doing 16 to that Stone Man, that could be a good early monster for them to fight, though, if they can survive it. But yeah, that gold will be going, looks like, just to waste here. Doesn't seem to be any towns nearby to having a chance at spending, and as you have Erdrick's sword, not much you could want to spend it on other than some armor and possibly a shield.
Deaths are definitely flying around fast and furious.
Yeah, which is not uncommon. We do see that the first level is only 12 experience, so 2 kills will get you your first level at least.
Well, if you're able to do so with the Magic Wyvern, that seems to be the enemy to go to here, and JJ Schmidt has done just that. And
not too bad.
Coper found some bucks in the Stones of Sunlight Cave.
Could be a potential gold grind, albeit a little slow, but still easier than setting up the Death Warp option. But yeah, not too bad of a first level. Unfortunately, no spells, though, so they will continue the slow grind more than likely. Although Jay Coper does seem to be having some good luck with a wolf. And gets a nice Kaishin for only 27 experience, though, but that will be enough to get him his first level at least.
Meanwhile, Lavkian just vaulted to level 4.
And it looks like JJ may be doing the same, taking out a Stone Man with a 13 attack power and 24 agility, as well as a nice MP gain at 12, so he did get to level 5 with that Stone Man kill. I did not check their spell list, though, so we don't know if they actually gained any spells from there. So an interesting thing to note is when you do gain multiple levels, it may not actually state that you've gained a spell. So it looks like Sleep and Stop spells still are going to be our only spells so far at level 5. We've got JJ hitting a new level with 15 attack power and some new spells as well, but only return this time around at level 6. And Lavkian spotting what's going to look like our first town, so we might see some armor or shield buying depending on the price in these shops in that town, if he can make it there.
Down to 5, and getting put to sleep here, and Lavkian just running away.
Yeah, he stop spelled and he sleeped that ghost. Not so lucky on the Armored Knight, who will say not today for this town. And we do get to see there's only 17 experience to get to level 5 still. So definitely some low experience requirements for the first few levels here at least.
Yep, 150 total for level 5.
As JJ finds that Poltergeists are worth a whopping 140 and not too bad to take down. And does get some new spells at level 7, with Heal More being much welcomed as well as Outside.
So you can see early on how only 500 experience has already gotten you to level 7.
And we have our first cave check by JJ, which looks to be... I'm going to go with Mountain Cave on that one. As a Star Wyvern punches him for a fairly hefty amount. And Jay Cooper getting sent back to Tantagel again by the Stonemen, who are definitely punching pretty good there. All them.
Yeah, this apparently looks to be the Sleep Seed, as already the Red Dragon, the Stone Man, and the Star Wyvern, and a Werewolf, all with sleep.
He does get the Werewolf down, though, for only 70 experience, but decent on the gold with 159. And JJ taking down a Red Dragon, finding out they're only going to give 10 experience and 4 gold, so he'll definitely be avoiding those in future if he can. And finds our second cave, as Lavkin gets sent back to Tantagel yet again by the Armored Knights, who are none too friendly in this seat at all.
And Jay Coper taking out a Poltergeist for 140. That's going to get him to level 6. And get him to level 7. So Sleep, Stop Spell, Outside, Return, Heal More, and... Oh, JJ Schmidt has found the swamp cave to the back of Tantagel. He's going to start buying some keys.
That's the most interesting way I've seen somebody get into the back of Tantagel Castle, is by finding the other end of swamp and ending up in the castle.
Lavkian, meanwhile, has found Breckenary. We get to see... Oh, wow.
Looks like on that shop. JJ getting us our look at the treasury in Tantagel with a herb, a torch, the token, and some big bucks. So a gold grind opportunity available if they so choose to do so.
Which, if all the items are like you saw there in Six Town, Breckenary, gold grind might be a very strong possibility.
Wow, those Warlocks just doing some incredible damage there to both Lavkin and JJ as they both get sent home by the Warlock.
Now, Lavkian getting into a bit of a slap fight with a Magidrakey, and wow, hitting it for 166 experience.
Yeah, definitely well worth it on those Magidrakes, as Jay Coper is doing the same. Jay Coper only actually putting him ahead now. Well, was slightly ahead there as JJ gets a kill and takes that lead back in experience. But not too far apart between Jay Coper and JJ, with Lavkin not that far behind as well.
Yes, but Jay Coper has one advantage over JJ Schmidt. The ability to burninate. Just had to mention the Trogdor sprite that Jay Coper has.
I was actually kind of wondering about that sprite. That was not one I've played with myself personally yet.
Although, as I say that, Jay Coper getting burninated by a Druin Lord.
I actually hope that this is a princess rescue seed, because I would love to see the Trogdor carrying the princess. That's got to be a sight to see. As JJ does find his way into your favorite town there, Six Town, and seeing that the shop is not too much going to be sought after here.
No, not when you have a small shield that only gives you 4 additional defense points, but costs just under 10,000 gold.
Oh, and McGrew noting that the Trogdor is actually a unofficial sprite. Okay. But we do have JJ finding
Jay
Cole.
Coper exclusive.
Right. Yeah, Jay Coper exclusive only. Interesting sprite to see, though. But we do find the armor hiding in Cole. So Erdrick's sword and armor with just at 12 minutes in. And finding Sharlock just in 12 minutes in as well. So a lot of information found on JJ's side as well as the equipment.
And that is advantageous, that you don't have to worry about looking for weapons to buy or armor to buy, because you've already got the best of both this early in the seed.
Right, and as JJ has the armor and the token, that means he does not care what the world item is going to be, other than it being the fairy flutes or the fairy flute being found in Hawksness, which he will probably not care too much about Hawks, other than for a grind on the Guardian of Hawks.
Depending on what it is and how many experience it gives.
Right. I can still hope for the ever popular princess search, though. We just know we won't be seeing it from JJ.
Lavkian getting trolled a little bit by a non-playable character inside of Breckenary.
Yeah, those NPCs definitely do like to troll. Particularly the Garenham Inn, the item shop there in Breckenary, and then the weapon shop in Rimeldar is where I've noticed they tend to block you the most.
And the Goldman providing a lot of riches, not just in terms of gold, but also in terms of experience. Over 200 experience.
And Jay Cooper finding the shop in Breckenary not to be trifled with, as everything has been quite inflated in price. And just because the small shield is rather expensive does not mean the silver shield will be cheap. That silver shield can still be quite a bit expensive.
Well, that's what makes it random. So, I mean, you won't know until you hit a shop in which it's available.
Right, typically, in the normal race, the small shield is the least expensive, and the silver shield is the most expensive. But in Chaos, anything can happen there, as we see the small shield being over 9,000. Not going to say it. But that Silver Shield could also be well within that same range, or even higher, closer towards its normal amount as well. Looks like Lavkin finding Mountain Cave.
So far on the top level, there is a torch.
And simultaneous armored knight fights. Lavkin chooses just to run away and fight another day, though.
Well, yeah, he's looking for exploration at this point.
As Jay Coper's armored knight sends him home, and JJ does take out the armored knight. Looks like fairy water and I believe an herb was found in the top 2 chests there.
Now, there's the flute.
Flute could be useful, especially if golems happen to be the guardian and a tough one at that. Speaking of the golem, and he quickly gives the flute a quick toot just to play it safe, as the golem could also have Dragon Lord breath, you never know.
Well, so far it's been attacking for upper single digits and lower double digits.
Quite a bit of health on that one, though, which golems typically do, but in Chaos it could be very low in health or could have well over 100 health. It does seem like he is very prone to just attacking, though, so the Fairy Flute not necessary, but definitely helpful. As JJ finds a blue dragon who only has hurt, which will of course not do that much damage since he does have Erdrick's armor.
Jacob the Wolf Lord to sleep, and Lavkin finding big bucks in the last mountain cave chest.
Yeah, he did rightly decide to just go ahead and run away after putting it to sleep and not risking missing that last chest. And Jay Coper easily taking out the rogue scorpions, but not worth much to kill. And he has found his way to Garenham, unfortunately with no keys, but we'll get a shop check at least. Magic armor for 8,547. That will not be looking to be purchased, but he does pick up a large shield at a really decent price.
That's at least some value.
As Lavkin finds Garen's grave. So as far as cave exploration goes, Lavkin's definitely got the head start on it. And we have JJ finding Rimildar. He's already purchased keys after going through the back end of Swamp into Tantegel. But still, we will get a shop check as well as find out what is in our chest here. Just a dragon scale, but we do have the silver harp as well as a magic key to be found in Garen's grave. So that will give keys to Lavkin, who's probably going to go back to Tantegel and then buy some more keys.
So that's another way to get your way in there if you find a key in the chest. And looking in the shop here, we've got not a bamboo pole.
Oh, that could have been really bad for him. Seeing as how he found the Erdrick sword in the throne room, he would not be able to get that back. Not a bad price on that silver shield at a little over 5k though.
Yeah, but a little out of the price range of JJ Schmidt at the moment.
Alright, so we'll have Lavkin picking up his token, along with a few other little items here that aren't worth much value. And I just saw a 211 experience gain from JJ, but I did not see what gave it to him.
I believe that 211 was the gold man.
Oh, is that the gold? Okay. And Lavkin will find the reverse entrance of the swamp there, and will not be able to outside out of it. One thing to note is when you enter the swamp cave from the south side, if you cast outside, it will actually exit you out of the north entrance, so saving you the trek through the swamp, which has a Druid Lord here who is being none too friendly to Lavkin at the moment. But he does manage to get away with, looks like, a sleep on it.
Well, perhaps he learned from earlier after finding out that the Druid Lords have Dragon Lord 2 Breath.
Yeah, definitely the right move to make there, with getting away from that as quickly as possible. Even with Erdrick's armor, as JJ has, being the only one to have picked it up so far, that will still damage you for 42, 44, 46, or 48. And he does find Hawks, which he knows he doesn't actually have to fight the monster here, but he'll probably take a quick peek, see what it is, and perhaps start a early grind. Or he'll be sent home by the Druid Lord, with that Dragon Lord 2 Breath hitting him for 46.
Lavkin, meanwhile, gonna look at that shield and get that large shield. That definitely seems to be the value pick here, is the silver shield, which has twice the defense power of the large shield, but considerably more than double the cost.
Alright, of all the items so far that we've seen in this shop, there hasn't been anything really too sought after that was at a decent price. We do get a check on the back of Garenham, which has big bucks. A torch, which he'll probably just toss away. And then replenishes his magic key that he used. He will pick up a Staff of Rain, though, as the back of Garen holds the Staff of Rain cave. And he is the only one who has found the Silver Harp as of yet. I believe JJ is now in the grave, so he should be picking up his Silver Harp here soon as well. If he can get away from this Metal Scorpion, who is not having any of it from him. And he does not get away.
And Lavkin's going to go up to level 8.
As Jay Coper goes up to level 10 with that last experience gain. So that was actually 2 levels on that one for him.
And that is some of what makes Chaos chaotic, in that it took probably a good 1,800 or so experience to get from level 8 to 9, but then a minimal amount to go from 9 to 10, and now another level here for Jay Coper.
With a rather nice MP gain. Well, we have our metal slimes found on JJ's side, who don't look to be hurting too much, but do have a fair bit of health. As Jay Cooper finds Cole, so he'll be picking up his armor in just a moment. And finding out that the shop in Cole is not something he really wants to purchase.
Well, at this point, Coper's just shield shopping.
Right, and as soon as he does find Garenham, as I believe he has not located it yet, he will probably pick up that large shield and say he's good to go with it. as JJ picks up the fairy water, the magic key, and will get his silver harp out of the grave. He does have keys, so will he actually go down into the bottom 2 chests to search for the stones is the question here. And it does look like that is the way he's heading.
Which makes sense, because nobody has found these Stones of Sunlight as of yet.
We've seen all of Mountain Cave. We did see the back of Garen's grave, as well as the treasury in Tantajul. So we don't have too much left to look for. I think we're looking at, as well as the Rimmildar chest, so I think we're just looking at the bottom 2 chests in the grave, and then and that's it, because we found Stones of Sunlight was big bucks as well. So it has to be in there.
Tablet Cave.
Oh, you're correct. We have not seen Tablet Cave, so it could be in Tablet Cave again. As Lavkin picks up his Erdrick's armor, we'll be much happy to see that. So we have the Vanilla Silver Harp chest in the bottom of Garen's grave. As we find out, the golems do give 105 experience, but a little tough to take down. If we have the Vanilla Silver Harp, though, they do have outside, so it'll at least be a quick exit for them once they pick that up.
And Jay Coper, a nice 20-point hit point gain going to level 12.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make him happy to see. Still a little bit trailing away on the HP he would like to have, but definitely a decent amount to have at level 12. And so far, no hurt more at level 12 either. It's not quite necessary, but it is useful for those enemies who have the high defense. As JJ Schmidt actually grabs 3 levels, going from 8 to 11 with that last experience gain.
Well, 9, 10, and 11 are pretty well close together. And 12's not too far behind. He's maybe another enemy or two away from that.
We have big bucks, so it's either the Vanilla Silver Harp location at the very bottom of Garen's grave, or we're going to be searching for the Tablet Cave and having Stones of Sunlight be in Tablet Cave twice in a row here. If he does find stones, the only thing he'll be missing and finding the Rainbow Drop Cave, as nobody has located that yet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the jerk has left his way, or he's stayed out of sight so far.
And now, while JJ might have a small... Oh, we do have our Stones of Sunlight, so JJ has almost everything he needs here. He just needs to find the Staff of Rain and the Jerk Cave. But while JJ does have a slight experience... I should say, Jay Cooper has a slight experience lead over JJ. JJ definitely has the advantage on the exploration and item gain.
As JJ Schmidt finds the Stones of Sunlight Cave and gets a little extra money.
And even though Lavkin's also trailing a bit behind, also has that exploration advantage, plus having already found the Staff of Rain Cave and has collected that. So each one of our players has a little bit of an advantage over the other, some with more exploration than others, and some with more experience than others.
So as we approach a half hour into this seed, it is still anybody's race.
It looks like the swamp, the stones, the grave, and the mountain cave were all pretty close within each other. So looking for the tablet cave if somebody does happen to find it before they get all the required items. As well as the jerk cave is going to be what we're still trying to find here.
Well, Afghan found a cave and then opted against it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and guess that was probably the tablet cave at that point. And knows, having found everything but the stones, there's not much left to find. I guess did not want to go diving into it.
Either that or it was a cave that he already explored and hadn't remembered.
That's a possibility as well.
Like he might have went, oh look, a cave, and then got in there and went, oh yeah, that's right, this was the mountain cave. I've already been here.
Yeah, I've definitely done that plenty of times myself, where I forget what cave is what, and we do have our jerk cave finally, as he gets sent away by the rude jerk for not having everything he needs.
They didn't get kicked out though.
Yeah, he didn't get kicked out. That is interesting, because usually, yeah, he'll kick you out of the cave back to the overworld.
I believe if you don't have the token, that's when he kicks you out. But in this case, because you have the sun, or the staff of rain and the token, but not the stones of sunlight, he's not as much of a jerk.
And Jay Cooper getting into Rimmeldar, so he'll be stocking up on his keys, as JJ takes down a Wraith Knight, which was rather beefy, but does get a decent amount of experience from it. And those Warlocks just still hammering away.
And just that quickly, JJ Schmidt up to level 13.
And he'll be seeing that silver shield and longing for it, but not being able to get it quite yet.
JJ Schmidt trekking through the mountain cave. And that's some of the, as you can see there, just with the levels and whatnot, it took roughly 800 experience to go from levels 10 to 13, actually from 9 to 13. And it's going to take at least that much to go from level 13 to level 14.
As the Metal Scorpions, who have hurt more apparently, does send JJ back home as well. Not too sure, since he does have the harp, the token, and the stones, as well as the Urgic sword. I'm not too sure what he would have been really looking for in that cave, though. And we got a brief glimpse at his stats there. Looked like he was actually rather high on the attack power, but I didn't get to quite catch what it was. And those wizards just slapping away as Lavkin deals a decent amount of damage in the averaging of 20s in there. Not going to be worth it with only 6 experience and 50 gold, though. And yep, looks like that was the tablet cave there, as JJ finds it and just leaves, but Lavkin is going to actually explore it this time. I could still hold the fighter's ring, as I don't believe anybody's picked that up yet.
No, nobody's picked up the fight list, but it's the wings.
So yeah, looking at, looks like every chest on the overworld that's not in Sherlock has been explored at this point, as JJ finds his jerk cave, so he just needs to find the Staff of Rain and he'll have everything collected except for levels. So it looks like the Fighter's Ring as well as the Death Necklace will be in Sherlock if anybody so chooses to take a peek for it if they need it or not.
Alright, so this seems like a good time as we're approaching the 35-minute mark, and now that everything has been found, we can kind of go over everything. As JJ Schmidt firstly falls here to the knight who has the Dragon Lord breath. so far. The Erdrick Sword was actually in the throne room, getting us off to an early start. We also have the Stones of Sunlight. They are deep in Garen's Grave. Also in the top level of Garen's Grave is the Silver Harp. And Erdrick's Token was in the Treasury at Tanagel Castle. Erdrick's Armor was in the search spot in Cole. The Fairy Flute was not in a search spot. It was actually in the mountain cave in a treasure chest. And I don't believe anybody has gone to Hawk's Nest to search a spot, but given that everything has been found, the Hawk's Nest Guardian will only be guarding a couple of trees. And nobody has gone for the coordinates yet in Cantlin, although Jake Hope are currently in Cantlin, but I don't believe that there will be any coordinates either.
I don't believe, has Cooper actually picked up his token yet? I'm assuming since he's going to check those coordinates, he has not, so he'll be sorely disappointed here.
Well, it's not like he has to heal, so, I mean, he's got Erdrick's Armor already.
True, and actually, I guess he won't be, he probably won't be disappointed as he won't have to go searching for an item or picking up the princess to do so. So it might actually be more of a jump for joy there. So he knows he only has Hawk's Nest left to find as far as the last of the searchable items, or he'll need to be searching for a chest that's going to hold that token. And Lavkin trying to sleep a metal scorpion, but having no success at it.
And slimes have heal more.
Well, thankfully, the slime does not do too much damage, and they do have a bit of health, but easily taken out without much trouble. And for 250, was that 3 or an 8?
253, as the max that any enemy can give is 255.
Correct.
So 253, just 2 experience off a max. Not too shabby for a slime.
Fairly easy to kill and doesn't really hurt you much with only doing looked like 2 was all I saw was doing there.
Well, it did attack once for 11, so it's got a pretty decent range.
I missed that 11 as I was watching JJ. Not too sure what he's searching for here as he's going through this cave.
Oh, wow. That is a lethal combination, as Lavkian found out the hard way. The combination of the Sleep Spell and Dragon Lord Chew Breath from the Knight.
Yeah, the Knight definitely saying good night to him as we have simultaneous run into a Red Dragon and run from the Red Dragon from Lavkin and Jay Coper there.
And JJ Schmidt finding out that the red slimes, they definitely were doing their training, taking their vitamins, and saying their prayers, brother, as they hit JJ for a good 30 HP.
As Lavkin chooses to return back to Tantagel, does not have the stone in Garen's grave there. So that's probably going to give our players a little bit of trouble as they do try to avoid going to the deepest floor of the grave if they can avoid it. I believe JJ is actually just doing a grind here in this cave, is what it looks like he's going for here. The AK is not too bad a grind as well either. Oh, I see. Lavkin picking up some torches so he can actually explore that cave.
That certainly could do it. And Blue Dragon's given Jay Coper seems to have found a nice little grind spot here in the hills as the Blue Dragons only casting hurt, but they give over 240 experience apiece.
Yeah, definitely an ideal grind spot if he can just continuously find those blue dragons there.
But to give you an idea, after those levels, I'd mentioned that it was going to be at least 800 to get from level 13 to 14. They reached level 13, did JJ and Jay Coper, at about the 3,400 experience mark. Jay Coper is closing in on 6,000 experience and is still at level 13.
Yeah, but he does also find that there is slimes over there. So slimes and blue dragons along with a Druid Lord so far that I've seen. But definitely a decent grinding spot with slimes and blue dragons giving almost max experience. As we have red dragons as well, but easily ran away from. And apparently some wizards as well, but again, not too hard to run away from. And Lavgan getting put to, not put to sleep, he did block the spell with a stop spell this time of the night. Not too bad on the experience with 191, and that will be enough to get him a few levels here. Oh, well, apparently only one level this time around. But he won't be far behind with 10 and 11, as it doesn't take much to get those two.
Yeah, this will get him to 10, maybe 11. Oh, it does get him to 11. Okay.
And so we have Jay Cooper actually finally getting a chance to check the treasury, so he'll find at least one item he wanted from there, which will be our token, if I remember correctly.
You indeed do.
So he's definitely got the experience lead here, and starting to collect some of his items. Still missing the harp, the stones, and then he has found the Jerk Cave. I don't believe that either JJ or Jay Cooper have been into the back of Garenham to find the Staff of Rain Cave yet.
Now, that is the advantage that Lavkian has.
As Lavkin does make the descent to the very bottom of Garenham's grave, and will be picking up his stones of sunlight. And he does know where the Jerk Cave is, so it'll be Rainbow Drop, and then just still needs to find coal, I believe, as well, though. And we have JJ actually finding Hawk's Nest, our first runner to locate that desolated town.
So it looks like the Hawksness Guardian is the ghost.
Yeah, Ghost doesn't do too much damage to him, but he does have some decent health on him.
And that's something we haven't really paid attention to because, well, we got the Erdrick Sword right in the throne room, but at level 13, still no Hurtmore, and finally level 14, it looks like, for Jay Coper. We'll make that
And 15.
I guess it's like, alright, you had to wait this long for 14, we'll give you 15 also.
Yeah, so we only have one level left to go. I don't believe we had a spell check there, though.
JJ continuing to work on that ghost.
Oh, and it has heal more after all of that damage being done. Oh, poor JJ. At least he knows that he doesn't need to find the item that's beneath the that ghost there, though. But he was wanting to find out if it was going to be worth it to grind it, I assume.
Well, that was an interesting unintended strategy to run away, as taking a page from Nest Cardinality in the AGDQ book and doing the double command before running away. Lavkin, meanwhile, has gone into the Rainbow Drop Cave and now has the Rainbow Drop.
Yep, so he just needs to locate Cole so he can go ahead and pick up his Erdrick's armor and then just grind out some levels, as Jay Cooper does make it into Garenham, and we'll find that the Staff of Rain cave is in the back but does not have the harp yet. Had to search around for those stairs a bit just to make sure so he didn't go tumbling down them, though.
So I was going to let it go. I thought about calling that out, but I was like, nah. Because we've all had those moments.
Oh yeah, I can remember a time where I decided to try and take the stairs. I tried to open the door of the stairs and tried to talk to the stairs before I finally managed to make my way down them.
Well, that's like the grand slam of stairdom right there.
I believe I've done that on stairs and doors, where I've tried to take the door, search the door, and talk the door as well. Even at the very beginning with trying to take a chest from the throne room, just doing a search to find out that there is indeed a chest beneath my feet.
Ah, yes, there is a treasure box declaration.
We're definitely all victims to the inputs in Dragon Warrior being eaten, unfortunately. We do seem to have some decent HP and MP, though, at level 17 with Jay Cooper, though. As he has definitely screamed ahead a bit in experience, leading by about 2,000 here.
We did mention earlier there was that one little spot that had a few enemies that were able to give in excess of 230 experience per kill.
And he hasn't made his way to the top of Garen's grave, so he'll be finding his silver harp here in just a moment. Hopefully he does not exit too quickly, and we'll go to the bottom to find his Stones of Sunlight as well. He does know where the Jerk Cave and the Staff of Rain Cave are, so he'll be able to quickly go to both of those and collect his items. As we see, JJ, I think, is still hunting around for Garenham, so that he can go ahead and turn in that silver harp for the Staff of Rain.
Jay Cooper, meanwhile, has the silver harp.
And he didn't cast outside, so it does look like he will be going down to check the other chests, where he'll be happy to find Stones of Sunlight for checking. As we have Lavkin going into Swamp and looking like he's going to check the Guardian, potentially pick up the Princess as well, as he does not have the armor still. And we have a red slime guarding the Princess here. Nice, excellent move. Will quickly dispatch the red slime for 124 experience. And yes, Lavkin will be picking up the Princess.
And Lavkin with a Princess Rescue. Skipping out the But Thou Must.
Now, in Chaos, though, the Princess serves actually two purposes here. you do have the purpose still of the GPS if it's needed, which we do know that it will not be. But you also have the advantage of knowing exactly how much experience it's going to take to get to that next level, seeing as how the experience to each level is randomized in Chaos. So it does have an actual benefit here in Chaos, even if the GPS is not needed.
And a knight taking out JJ Schmidt with the Sleep and Dragon Lord Breath combo.
Yeah, those knights have not been very friendly. The side benefit, though, is since Swamp was right there with Tantagel, it was not a long trek back to rescue the princess, as opposed to other times you have to go a long way away and then return back to the castle with either return or walking back to rescue the princess.
Well, an ironic point in chat, the fire-breathing knight, something you definitely don't see in Dragon Warrior. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, typically the knight does not breathe Baby's Breath or the Dragon Lord Breath, but this time around he does have a little bit of OP attacks underneath his belt. As JJ does find his way to Garenham and will find his Staff of Rain cave, so I imagine he'll be making a quick trip to grab his Rainbow Drop and then head to grinding, as he will have everything he needs. Yeah, definitely did something there to give him some Fire Breath, as J. Cooper does make it to level 16. So we do have all of our spells learned at this point. So it does seem level 16 was hiding Hurt more.
Well, that's the other end of the spectrum for getting Erdrick's Sword right away.
Yeah, get all the physical damage you could want, but not nothing in the spell damage, as he hits another level with a nice 29 magic gain, looks like.
Wow!
So that is going to put him in the HP and MP ranges that he's going to want to see there for the Dragon Lord fight. So we just need to see what his attack power is at this point. It seems like Lavkian is bent on grinding on those red slimes for 124. It's not a bad decision, but we do know there are better spots available, thanks to J. Cooper with the blue slimes and blue dragons in that hilly area being plentiful.
And speaking of J. Cooper picking up the Stones of Sunlight,
we do have JJ at level 15 with 119 attack power. Now, while J. Cooper has found everything except for the Staff of Rain cave, he does know where the Jerk cave is. I don't believe he has seen Garenham yet. Well, maybe he has, as he makes a beeline directly for it. So depending on what J. Cooper's stats are at, we may be seeing him go directly to Sharlock after he picks up his items. With 109 HP and 112 MP, so he's definitely sitting where he wants to be on the HP and MP count for sure there. Let's see, some quick math. That puts him at right at 14 heal mores.
Alright, so J. Cooper making his way in to acquire the Staff of Rain. I think that should be everything for him, because I believe I saw earlier that he went and got the token inside the treasury, and just recently getting the Stones of Sunlight. So Jay Coper should just be looking for the Rainbow Drop Cave, which JJ Schmidt is currently in, and JJ Schmidt now has the Rainbow Drop.
JJ Schmidt does have everything he needs except for the stats. Whereas Jay Cooper does know where the jerk cave was, so he does seem to be making a beeline directly for it. As Lavkin has chosen to quit his grind on the red slimes and is banking on the plentiful Goldman being over there in that desert area.
Provided they don't run away.
Right, yeah, they do seem to be pretty prone to running away there. We might actually see Jay Coper go for a silver shield, as he's not that far away from it. Actually, I believe he has enough for it at this point. And quickly dispatching a skeleton with Hurt More, so that will definitely be helping him out with the tougher enemies that didn't take physical damage so much. And it seems JJ is going to be happy with Goldman grinding as well, so long as he can hit them and they don't run, running the same problems that Lafkin's having.
But the best thing about these is when they don't run away, you're able to one-shot them.
Correct. And do we have JJ just heading straight into Sherlock?
Well, he's going to be the first to use the Rainbow Drop, and maybe he's going to get a little information.
Because he's only at 119 attack power, so even with a Death Necklace pickup, that would only put him at 129, and does not have the HP to use it. He may be looking at the time, saying that, as Game Boy had noted previously, the average time was 56 minutes for a Chaos, and thinking he might want to go ahead and just go down, see what Dragon Lord has to offer, and maybe have a lucky one-shot kill on him as well.
True, that Dragon Lord 1 and Dragon Lord 2 certainly a potential equalizer. As we've seen in previous seeds, DL1 can attack for... We've seen attacks of up to 80 or 81. We've seen it use Hurt More. We've seen it use Dragon Lord Breath. I mean, we've seen some of the worst from DL1. And then DL2, you don't know how many hit points it'll take to finish him off. It could be as little as 100 and as many as 230. And there's a lot of range in between.
Right, then even DL1, you never know if you're going to be able to just take him down with physical attacks, or if you're going to have to use some of that MP that you've got to take him down with a Hurt More if physical attacks are not doing it. And with each of those Hurt Mores, that is 5 MP apiece. So depending on where you're sitting on your MP, one Hurt More could cost you a Heal More, or if you have to use a double Hurt More, that will definitely cost you one Heal More.
So Magic Point conservation heading into Sherlock is a huge factor.
And then Stop Spell as well being, I believe that is 2 MP, if that is necessary on Dragon Lord 1 or 2. If they have Heal More on Dragon Lord 1, as well as on Dragon Lord 2 having Heal or Sleep, definitely going to slow you down if you don't deal with that early on in the fight.
And Jay Coper has picked up the Rainbow Drop. Eyeing up the statistics, it looks like 130 attack power.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting right at that threshold that you would normally want to see, but this is Chaos, so that could be nowhere near enough.
Or it could be plentiful. We don't know.
That's is true. It could be on the opposite there. It could be more than enough, depending on what stats are to be had. As we have JJ hitting level 16 and getting a nice power boost on his way down, so that will definitely help. Well, actually 17, sorry. So that will actually help him out. It looks like he's going to go ahead and outside heal up real quick and then probably return back into there.
Lavkian, meanwhile, has hit level 16.
Oh, wow, and only 29 away to 17.
That'll do.
As he does quickly get that level. And he will be quite happy with it with that 29 MP gain.
Although 0 strength and 0 agility.
Alright, but sitting at 125 attack power at 17. Not quite in Death Necklace range, however, as they are only at 118 at that level. Well, actually, 109 in Lavkian's case here. He may make a go of it, though. He does come back to heal up really quick.
Lavkian probably looking for more of those gold men, since it's about, at this point, about 1,100 to another level. That's maybe 5 or 6 gold men.
It does seem like he is actually going to make a beeline for Sherlock as well now. As we do have Jay Coper grinding out some more levels still. Which might be the correct play here, depending on what our Dragonlord 1 and 2 do to our runners.
One thing of note, the Dragonlord 2 has the same strength and agility statistics. So you can at least calculate what the damage would be as far as your attack versus the agility of the Dragonlord. So you can still make that calculation, but you don't know with that range, that attack range, whether you have to provide only 7 attacks or if you have to provide 23 attacks.
Right, sitting at the on the upper end of the spectrum, with 200 plus HP, it can definitely take quite a few more attacks than you're planning, especially if they are low rolls. Now, of course, with their current MP count, having 14 heal mores, as long as they can take all 14 into the Dragonlord to fight, and they don't get sneak attack, that gives them 16 hits at least, with possible chances at double hits with the HP count that they have as well.
Well, Jay Coper having a chat with the king to see what the next level will be, and it's about 3,300 experience, getting up to about 14,000, a little more than, to get to level 20. So we will see if 19 is the level. JJ Schmidt already in Sherlock. And Jay Coper, you have to imagine, is booking it over to there.
Yeah, with having that much experience to hit 20 and with his current stats, I don't see him going for the grind unless the Dragonlord 1 is just going to be that tough to him. And I don't think I ever saw him actually go for the Silver Shield, even though he had more than enough for it. That extra 10 defense can definitely help out if the Dragonlord 1 is going to be punching you for quite a hefty amount. And Lavkin decided to go ahead and go back to the Goldman grind here. Now, Jay Coper does have the advantage that having grinded all of that experience up, he will have more attack power than JJ Schmidt does, giving him a slight advantage. Along with having a significantly amount of MP more at 130, that'll give him, let's see, right about 16 heal mores, I believe.
Yeah, since 128 would be 16, yeah, that would be 16 heal mores. Although JJ Schmidt able to grind up a level to 18 on the way down to the bottom level of Sharlock, where he currently is. Jay Coper, meanwhile, just entering Sharlock.
Yeah, JJ definitely with a hefty lead on Jay Coper here. But he's getting some trouble from this skeleton, not wanting to let him go and just wailing on him, forcing him to use one of his heal mores.
JJ still having troubles with that skeleton.
Yeah, it seems our fun police in this one are going to be the skeletons here. Dealing a hefty amount of damage, putting you to sleep, and just not letting you go anywhere, as he does finally manage to get away, though.
Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily the fun police. I think in this case it's, forget frames per second, and this is the fun police squad, or fun prevention squad, or something like that. There's a few different ones. The knight, the skeleton's been an issue. I mean, tons of enemies with sleep. The werewolf hasn't exactly been a picnic.
Yeah, there's definitely been quite a few enemies that have given our runners trouble here. Just with those skeletons being none too friendly, as JJ does go ahead and grab another level, so that puts him even with Jay Coper as he heads to the Dragon Lord now.
Oh yes, and of course part of the fun prevention squad, you can't forget the Star Wyvern, who is sleeping and hurt mourning Jay Coper.
As JJ runs into another skeleton, gets away, but then runs directly into yet another. So skeleton's heavy on the bottom floor of Sharlock for JJ. As he tries a couple of commands, but was not successful with it. No Nest Cardinality strats for JJ here. Now, Jay Coper, with having 130 MP, does have the advantage of he knows he can just hurt more skeleton down if they'd start doing a little too much damage to him and get that skeleton out of his way quickly.
I did not realize until now skeletons also have sleep. It's maybe about a 25% chance of hitting it, but once they do, well, you can see that JJ is going to fall to the skeleton.
As does Jay Coper with him.
Wow.
So both being sent back, but they will both be going back into Sharlock, and with JJ getting up to level 19 with the 130 MP and as well as that high HP account, or accounts rather, not account. A slight difference at 10 though, just because the strength agility build on Jay Coper.
Meanwhile, Lavkian has been quietly grinding up. He's at level 19.
And he did go ahead and take a rest at the end there, and we'll probably heading directly for Sharlock. So we're going to have all three of our runners going into Sharlock about the same time here, it seems. With Lavkin having a little of a head start since he was right next to it.
He was able to go from Breckenary, whereas the other two, Jay Coper and JJ Schmidt, they were both coming from Tanagel Castle.
As a nice pun comes in here from Future Sight, with our runners definitely getting boned by those skeletons.
I can't even give him the rim shot on that.
And JJ actually wisely stocking up on his herbs before heading into Sharlock. And I believe everybody did pick up the large shield, but no one did go for that silver shield, so they'll all be, other than Jay Coper with his Strength Agility build, at about the same defense, roughly. As that skeleton, before he can even get off the first floor, puts him to sleep and might be sending him back home. Not quite yet. He's going to just... Oh, but it didn't have an effect on it. And does send him back home again. So he did decide to take the that option of hurt mooring it down, but does have some resistances to it, so it did not work out quite as well as he had hoped there. And Lavkin wisely being able to put the Star Wyvern to sleep and then run away from it. JJ quickly being put to sleep by the skeleton. As Jay Cooper does make his way back to Sharlock. I can only imagine the words that are coming out of JJ's mouth with the those skeletons just having none of his funny business there.
Yeah, I can imagine that they are definitely all displeased with everything that's going on here, and it seems like that this end of the seed here can be summed up in that one word: skeleton.
Yeah, skeletons are definitely behaving much like a certain Spectre did a few races ago.
And a sleep for Lavkian from the skeleton's gonna send him back to Tanagel.
It does seem the skeletons are susceptible to a stop spell at least, so that'll put an end to their sleeping ways. And that fairy water having absolutely no effect for Lavkin on that stone man at least.
JJ Schmidt still struggling with the skeleton.
He gets away from one and then runs directly into yet another, as Jay Cooper does exactly the same. Yeah, skeletons are plentiful in Sharlock here. As Lavkin does make his way back into Sharlock yet again, but runs quickly into a skeleton and does get away, but finds yet another. They are rather susceptible to sleep, it seems, as well, so sleep might be the strategy here. Fight fire with fire.
Or fight slumber with slumber.
Yeah, in this case, slumber with slumber here.
There we go. That'll be the next movement. Slumber strats. Which I will be employing very shortly after the end of this seed.
Yeah, I'll be not too long behind you there. Quick bite to eat and then off to sleep. Yeah, what could have been just a little over an hour-long seed, thanks to these skeletons, has been extended into overtime a bit here.
A note here in chat, Sandman %.
I actually quite like that, Sandman %.
I'll keep that in mind for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, because I think that's about as far as I can get as Mr. Sandman.
Bit of a stretch, but yeah, definitely a decent reference as Jay Cooper gets sent back to the penalty box again.
What can I say? They can't all be winners.
Definitely a lot of magic being used here between sleeps and stop spells and heal mortars, trying to just get down to Dragon Lord 1. At least the Star Wyverns and the Skeletons are susceptible to sleep, making them a much easier target to run away from, though.
But one has to wonder, if this is the challenge just to get down to the Dragon Lord, what's going to happen when they get there?
That is always the thought. Now, we've seen some Chaos Seeds that were just absolutely brutal. And then once we get to Dragon Lord, it was actually a pleasant day in the park. But we've seen the exact opposite, where it's just a brutal seed all throughout. Referring back to those specters that a few races back that did not want to allow you to run in any way, shape, or form, punched you for around about 40, if I remember correctly. And then the Dragon Lord 2 having close to 200, or actually over 200 health, if I remember that race correctly. As Jay Cooper yet again gets sent back home.
Oh, man. And meanwhile, JJ Schmidt tangling with a skeleton on the bottom level and able to get away down to using his last 2 herbs.
With only 11 heal mores left to go, if he can keep them when he gets to Dragon Lord here. And we have not even seen the Guardian yet. That Guardian could also be end up being a skeleton. Just as a final troll, fight your way through all the troves of skeletons, just to, one more last hurrah.
And this being one that you can't run away from, that would be, without question, a kick between the legs.
Yeah, that is true. The Guardians, you cannot, you can run from them, but if you run from them, you do not get to pass go, you do not collect $200.
Nor do you get to meet with the Dragon Lord.
He has made it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, as JJ Schmidt put to sleep again, and continuing to struggle with the skeleton. Meanwhile, Lavkian sneaking up to about that point, and we finally are going to see it's a Druin as the mini boss.
Which we haven't seen a Druin anywhere so far, have we?
Not that I can recall in my notes.
Oh, and JJ getting sent home so close to the finish. So it looks like Lavkin will be our first attempt at Dragon Lord, sitting on 12 heal mores. So let's see what he has in store for our runners. Well, he's dodgy and deals a pretty good punch, but cannot take a punch, so a bit of a glass jaw there.
All right, so we're at 16. And another 13 here, so alright, we're at 29. As Jay Coper falls to a skeleton as well. Lavkian up to 44.
Very prone to just breathing fire here, though. He does finally attack, though.
60. That one's on the low end. He's up to 70. $86. Still a good amount of heal mores.
possible double hit coming here.
Was it 98? No double hit there. But this next attack could potentially do it.
And he does get a double here,
he's
though.
Up to 107. He gets the double there. He's up to 117. Down to 4 heal mores. 128. Lavkin up to 140. Down to 2 heal mores. 151. I made that joke before. I'm not going to do it again. 162.
About to cross the threshold of normal DL2 health. Oh, and he has heal!
And he has heal! Oh, wow! 173 minus what was healed.
And he's going to heal again. Heal. The Troll Dragon Lord. And not going to do it. Oh, wow.
So Lavkian is going to go back, but we now know that Dragon Lord 2 has heal.
Yeah, so has at least more than 163. And does have heal. So that is good information for Lavkian to know. He'll know to go ahead and try and stop spell him right off the get-go there to prevent that heal later on in the fight.
As we mentioned, that is something that can come into play. The Dragon Lord 2 having either sleep and or heal. It looks like in this case heal programmed in. And we know that there's at least 160 hit points, so it's somewhere above the average number, as it can be anywhere from 100 to 230 hit points.
And we do have JJ as well as Jay Cooper making their way back in. Unfortunately, they do not have that knowledge of what DL2 has in store for them, and we didn't see much from Dragon Lord 1. He only actually got to punch Lavkian once before he took him down, and he could have potentially one-punched him before he even got that hit in. He just didn't get the first hit since he dodged it. Right, in this one, you can stop spell Dragon Lord 2, as well as hurt more or sleep him. He is susceptible to them. It's just a matter of how susceptible will he be to those spells. So you could have to cast stop spell a few times before it finally does take effect. Right, and Sports Hefe noting that DL1 does have at most 40 HP. So yeah, fairly friendly, well, can't even say fairly, a very friendly Dragon Lord 1, but not so much on the Dragon Lord 2. It's definitely the most friendly Dragon Lord 1 we've seen in a while, considering he didn't punch for nearly as much as we normally see him, doing anywhere from 50 to 80 damage. And did go down with just one hit, as opposed to having to use a hurt more to take him down, which is what we've seen happen in last 2 races, I believe, with the last 2 weekly races, rather, not the previous race. And JJ does actually go ahead and get that level 20. nothing too welcoming, but a stats increase are still welcome nonetheless. As does Jay Cooper as well. Both of them almost back to back there. And Jay Cooper being our first one to the bottom floor this time around, and looks like he's going to search for that death necklace. As well as the fighter ring, which he does find. So he'll go ahead and put that on. That will give him an extra 2 attack power, and he does find the death necklace as well.
But Lavkian, meanwhile, opting not to go for the treasury and is making his way back for the rematch with Dragon Lord.
And not too sure what else Jay Cooper was looking for there. Maybe a couple of herbs just to heal up a bit, I suppose. As Lavkian is the first to make it for his second attempt now after getting to the Druin again. And Jay Cooper grabbing yet another level with another 5 power increase.
So perhaps 21 could be the level.
And
Jay Cooper making doubly sure that fighter's ring is on.
Yeah, and JJ Schmidt making it to level 21 as well. Let's see if he goes ahead and grabs the ring. Nope, he's just going to go straight for it.
Meanwhile, Lavkian back for round 2.
With quite a bit more MP this time, and does one-shot the Dragon Lord this time around. No dodging for him this time. And does go straight for that stop spell. No effect though, so he's going to have to try again.
Twice now it's had no effect, and he's going to have to heal more.
And level 22 for Jay Cooper with another 6 attack power and 25 HP.
Wow!
So yeah, he will most definitely be putting on that death necklace with that HP gain.
JJ Schmidt using his last herb.
Now they do have the advantage with, especially with Jay Cooper having that extra attack power and picking up the ring and most likely putting on the death necklace. But JJ as well with having that extra attack power from those 2 levels. So they may not run into that heal problem that Lavkian did, but Lavkian did have that prior knowledge, so that is his ace in the hole here so far.
And answer a question in chat. What are the odds of stop spell? The odds for Dragon Lord 2, their stop spell resistance is randomized as well. They did not have their sleep or hurt more, so they still have the same resistance for sleep or hurt more, but the stop spell resistance is randomized.
And we have Jay Cooper talking to Dragon Lord 1 after he does a little bit of herb munching and probably putting on that death necklace. But will Lavkin be able to do enough to take down the Dragon Lord 2 here? And yes, he does put on the death necklace, munch a couple of more herbs, and then he'll be going at it as JJ Schmidt makes his way to the Druin.
All 3 of our runners right there. Lavkian down to 2 heal mores.
Oh, and a whopping 61 to Dragon Lord 1 just to knock him down. Oh, he might have this as the Dragon Lord just spams the heals. He can just keep straight attacking him.
And that might be the way to go here. 4 heals in a row. Got to be closing in on the 200-point mark.
And Lavkin gets it.
Gonna do it.
GG to Lavkin with that prior knowledge really coming through for him there. And he has got to be happy about that.
Well, the fact that he was able to get a fight in early and found out about that heal, that made the difference. And
Lavkin trolling with the king a little bit there with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 18 seconds, though.
a little bit of a victory lap before getting in there. Meanwhile, Jay Coper and JJ Schmidt both on the Dragon Lord 2 fights, but I don't believe either of them are aware that the Dragon Lord has heal.
I do believe Jay Cooper has found that out, as he did attempt a stop spell there. And is not having any effects so far, but he does still have a fair amount of magic left, and if he gets DL2 into that heal lock, he'll be in the same boat Lavkin was. If he can get this stop spell to work.
Yo,
We have Lavkin in the chat. Congratulations and GG.
thank you. Why is everyone so much higher level than I was?
Because you had the advantage of going in early and finding out that Dragon Lord 2 had heal. Having that knowledge gave you the chance to go back and in the rematch take things out. This is the first time that both of them they spent more time leveling and never got to the Dragon Lord.
So did they just grind to this point before even going into Charlock?
Oh no, they went into Charlock, but they kept running into as Jay Coper falls to DL2. But and because of having the death necklace on, was told, thou art cursed, get out, or something along those lines.
Yeah, but thou hast failed and thou art cursed.
Skeletons.
I finished at what was it, 18 or 19? I know it wasn't 20.
I believe you finished at 18, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact level. I'm really surprised to see them so much higher. Because I guess they just weren't willing to throw out sleeps. Like, are they just not sleeping anything on the way down to DL2?
Not their first few attempts, they hadn't been. And actually, they did gain, for JJ Schmidt anyway, he gained level 21 on his way down. And then Jay Coper actually gained 21 and 22, as they weren't far after level 20, which was almost 4,000 or a little over 4,000 after you got level 19.
Yeah, I must have finished at 19 then, because I remember I tried it. I got a level and I tried it, and then I remember after dying, I saw it was like 3,700 or some obnoxious number for the next level. But wow, I was really wondering what was holding everybody up, if it was just like multiple Charlock deaths or what was going on, but...
That was exactly it.
Well, I mean, also obviously the fact that they went and got these extra levels, but dang, this legitimately surprises me that nobody just tried. I guess it was kind of lucky, the fact that skeletons and star wyverns being the deadliest enemies there, like, it's kind of lucky that they were also very, very susceptible to sleep. But I'm really surprised that neither of them tried that, because I don't know if you guys noticed, like, my second attempt, I had the worst encounter luck, the absolute worst. I lost something like 34 MP just to having to put things to sleep, because at that point I was just like, I remember watching, I think it was Ryu Sishin in last week's matches. He won because the Dragon Lord only had like 100 HP or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to put everything to sleep and hope Dragon Lord 2 has low HP. And in this case, he didn't have low HP, but because on my second attempt, I made it with a lot more MP, I had plenty of MP to try to land Stop Spell. And then one Stop Spell landed that actually worked in my favor, because I think I want to say my count was around 170 when he finally started healing, and then I just was able to just like take four more whacks at him, which I wouldn't have been able to do if he wasn't spamming sleep.
Yeah, he stayed. He stayed at it on a heal lock. Once you got that stop spell on him, there was just nothing he could do except for spam heal. So that definitely worked in your favor there, knowing that ahead of time that he was going to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really really surprised that no one else did what I did, but I guess that's just that little bit of extra knowledge and like willingness to use MP was kind of the difference maker there.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Coper and JJ Smith, once they got to DL2, because they both quickly punched Dragonlord 1 down, who was not tough at all this time around.
No, he was a pushover.
Yeah, they did find out that Dragonlord 2 had sleep, or had heal, sorry, and attempted to stop spell them, but just could not get it to work for them, was the issue there.
Oh, really? It took me 3 attempts, I think, when I took that second fight. So, because I know if DL2 has even a chance, um, to casting spells, then he is also susceptible to stop spells. So, and I don't think you can even win that fight unless you land it. So when he has heal, so
Yeah, no, not unless you have just a really high roll of damage and just can push past that heal before he gets it off.
I don't even know what like I know in the Super Famicom remake of this game, the monster's heal spells are not as strong as your heal spell. So that would have to be the case here because I mean you're gonna have to be punching for like 20 plus, and even then it's gonna take a really, really, really long time to get through that last bit. Because again, I must have taken at least 3 or 4 swings after he started casting heal. So that was pretty obnoxious.
Right, yeah, even if you could get him to that maximum amount of damage right before his heal threshold, even one well-placed hit of, about 25 average would probably not do him in.
No, no, it would have been really, really, really tough without landing that stop spell. I was, and honestly, the irony is that the only reason I even went back for a second shot is because no one else had finished yet. I was beyond ready to give up. That seed was just, oh my god, that Sharlock was nasty.
Well,
Yeah,
someone who did follow through with that is also here in chat with us. JJ Schmidt, after falling to the Dragon Lord 2, he ended up dot forfeiting. And although muted, he is here in the Discord chat with us as well.
yeah, I wouldn't mind getting both of y'all slots there on those skeletons. What was going through y'all's minds as y'all were just getting stuck there? Those skeletons just not giving an inch.
I mean, I don't know, man. It was it. If at any point if you had just checked my stream, I was just making all the faces in the world because especially like the first time through when I failed to run from one like a dozen or so times with over 100 agility, and then I think 2 times I died because I got back attack sleep locked. And then after that, I was just like, all right, fine. I'm just gonna put these to sleep as soon as I see them. I was happy to find like towards the end of my grind session, once we finally got hurt more, they were fairly susceptible to hurt more. It wasn't 100%, but if it landed, then they died and they actually gave decent experience. So that was kind of nice, I guess. But everything else about them was garbage.
That was something that I was wondering if Jay Coper was going to do with all that HP or all that MP, and he did attempt it once, but it did not go through for him, and actually ended up sending him back to Tantagel because of it.
He failed asleep.
No, he failed to hurt more skeleton on his last. He had one hit left, so instead of healing and using more MP, he decided to try to hurt more and was none too successful with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wasn't a guarantee to land the hurt more, but yeah, if it landed, then they died. I'm actually really surprised, and it's kind of sad to see that JJ Schmidt doesn't have that much more MP than I did at level 17. It's kind of unfortunate. like 4 extra levels, and his MP right now is only 10 higher than my max was. I'm assuming he's not at his max right now, but still, Jesus.
Noriaster putting it in chat rather bluntly. This seed was rude.
Beyond
Yes,
rude.
most definitely.
Beyond rude. I'm pretty sure I died to a red slime at one point.
Yes, I believe you very early on there.
Yeah, and then there was a red slime. I don't really know if it was particularly worth it, but I decided I was going to go rescue the princess, even though I knew there was nothing to search for. I just wanted to have that kind of EXP meter going. Um, but then there was the red slime guarding the princess, and I got pretty lucky because I think I got a crit the first time, and then I decided to try and grind on it, and then that wasn't working out because you had to land a couple of hurts on it, and the hurt wasn't guaranteed to work every time, and I was just like, F this, I'm gonna go fight those gold men that I know are worth like gobs of experience.
Yeah, I did make note of your brief attempt at grinding on those. So JJ, your thoughts on the that Sharlock and Dragonlord 2?
Well, I really just popped in here to thank Lavkian for putting an end to this.
Fair enough.
No, that was about as
You were
brutal as I've seen. I don't remember anything quite like that. I'm sure there's been worse seeds overall, but that's the worst I've played.
It's definitely among the worst that I've ever played. I would say, Ryu, I think you were in a slightly worse seed. I made a note at the very beginning when I failed to run from a poltergeist and I failed to do any damage. Uh, I was having flashbacks to a seed that I think you were a part of, where Sharlock had like 255 agility poltergeists that were just impossible to get away from.
That was Spectres, but yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, at least those. I guess it could be worse because I don't remember. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to that particular race to see if that seed to see if anyone tried to put them to sleep. Because as soon as I saw the shenanigans going on in Charlotte, I was just like, let me see if sleep works, and I really hope that it does. Um, so I think I'm kind of curious and I'll have to ask JJ this later since he did leave. There's been debate about this in the Dragon Quest One Super Famicom community because there's a part in that run where you're having to walk through this gauntlet of enemies that can murder you at any time. But there's several of them that are very susceptible to being put to sleep. And generally speaking, when you put something to sleep, if it's asleep, you have a 100% chance to run regardless of your level or agility or anything. And it seems to me that that's true here as well. So I'm wondering if JJ and Jay Coper know that. I would hope that they do, but it's not something that you do a lot in vanilla randomizer. And as far as I know, in like vanilla Dragon Warrior 1, I don't think you ever actually use sleep and to try to improve your run chances at all. But we definitely do it in Dragon Quest 1 Super Famicom. So that's kind of the knowledge that I was going off of. It's like, well, okay, if my run chances are going to be so garbage here, and I don't know exactly how many heal mores I need, but I've got gobs of MP, I might as well try it.
Right. Yeah, I do know. I'm pretty sure we all know the fairy flute to the golem and run option because that is definitely something used quite a bit in the vanilla randomizers flags
Yeah.
since they can punch you for quite a bit.
Narastra calling me out because I did in fact roll this particular scene. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I did make note that those skeletons were reminiscent of those specters a few races back, which just had nobody getting away from them with any luck whatsoever.
Oh my gosh, Jay Coper apparently just not getting the friggin' stop spells in, and he's trying to outpace the stops or the heals, and I don't think he's gonna do it. He might, but
He's hitting
well,
from like 16 to 30, but
he might. If he just sits there and just does this and like never attacks, he might punch through it. Oh man.
Oh wow, that
He got it!
risky chance though.
Wow!
Oh, you guys are a little. Oh, you guys are a little bit ahead of me. No way. Wow. Oh my goodness. I don't think he expected that either, considering that little pause that he took there after he got the kill. I don't think he was expecting that either.
Well, get out the very well-deserved GGs for Jay Coper. Holy smokes is right. With an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 19 seconds.
Dropping the JFC.
Wow. And as we await for Jay Coper to come in here, man, what a tale to tell. As we work on getting Jay Coper in here, I mean, some of the insanity that you've seen here. I mean, this is all before the tournament here. It starts well as we have at least now here on the East Coast. We have entered, and actually in the Central Time Zone as well. We have entered Tuesday morning. We are just over 1 week away from the Chaos Tournament. It'll be a Swiss-style one-on-one tournament. And that will be, as I said, registration will be all the way through next Tuesday afternoon, February 20th. So you have just over a week to get your registration in to be a part of this chaos and this insanity.
Yeah, this is pretty bonkers. I mean, even for chaos like that ending, man. Oh my goodness. Whew.
And that's the
I
thing.
can't-
Like you could say that about the last few weeks. Is Jay Coper joining us here in chat? GG, man! What a way to what an endurance run.
Yeah, something like that. The I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that difficult, really. Like the whole thing. It seemed like there were plenty of monsters that were easy to kill that gave a ton of experience. And Sharlock overall wasn't that bad. The skeletons were annoying, but it turned out they only had 15 HP at most, so maybe killing them was the way to go, but it was just weird because they had such high defense that you know, just attacking them wasn't working well, and they were the skeletons were relatively easy to deal with on a one-off basis, but when you threw them over and over again, then it got pretty frustrating in Sharlock. And then I just don't know how to deal with a Dragonlord 2 having heal. He's supposed to have a reduced stop spell resistance, but it sure didn't feel like it to me.
Yeah, I gotta say, it seems like you just had really unfortunate luck there, Jay Coper. Like, I'm sorry, because I went through him once and I got to like 162 damage, and then I saw a heal come out for the first time, and I just tried to punch through it, and then, like I said, the second time I went and fought him, I just threw like 3 stop spells out, and then it stuck, and then I just won off of that. So
Yeah. I mean, I cast at least 3, like more than 3 the first fight, and then the second fight, I don't know. You saw how many I cast. That was
it was a lot.
It was like the full magic meter of stop spell. But yeah, I don't know, what level were you when you finished?
I was level 19 when I finished.
19. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 19 when I finished. I didn't see a huge difference between our MP, because I saw when you were on the final floor at like 23, you had like 140 and I had 130. So we weren't that far apart, and I was just taking the strategy of sleeping any skeletons or star wyverns I saw on the way down, because I was like, there's almost no chance that I get down here if I don't put these things to sleep to guarantee that I run away from them. So yeah, I was really surprised when I finished, and then I checked back onto the stream and saw you guys were in like the low 20s. I was like, whoa, this is pretty intense. But yeah, once I saw that like 3,700 to the next level, I was like, no way, I'm just gonna keep trying this.
Yeah, I thought that I was going to commit to that level 2 when I saw that it was so much experience for the next level. But I was just chipping away at it in my Sharlock attempts, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to get this level. And then once I got the next level, they just kept coming and coming after that. So got to 22 and 23 pretty easily. So I think it was
Yeah, that's what
22.
that's what they said. They said you got I think you got 20 from grinding, and then you just got everything else kind of incidentally. I'm curious though what exactly you were hoping for out of level 20 that was going to increase your odds.
You know, anything will increase your odds. Strength or uh more agility, I guess. But even a little HP can't hurt that much. I guess the main thing is strength to help punch through the heal a little better, or give a little more chance of doing that.
Yeah, yeah, that could make sense. I guess the way that I was looking at it was because I had seen Rio Station here win a race that by a miracle, where the Dragon Lord 2 only had like 112 HP or something like that. I was like, well, the thing is I don't know exactly how many heal mores I need to get through this, so I just didn't particularly feel like there was a whole lot to be gained by gaining extra levels. But yeah,
Oh
that was
yeah,
just
that's the thing.
that's just the way that I did it.
You never know. So I mean, just the higher your levels are, the safer you'll be. That's
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it definitely did benefit him there with that last ditch attempt at just punching his way through it and getting the finish, having that extra attack power. Plus, he did go and pick up the Fighter's Ring and the Death Necklace from the Treasury in Sharlock, which boosted his attack power quite a bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
You
was one thing I was thinking about potentially looking for as well. But I might have done that if I had died on my second attempt. I might have looked for those things, but turned out I didn't need them.
Wow, just tremendous across the board here. A great deal of things to endure here. I want to congratulate everybody for making it through this here. I want to thank our runners here. Make sure you give them a follow. Jay Coper, JJ Schmidt 77, and Lavkian, as well as us here at the commentator section, Ryu Station, and myself, Ferran Burgundy, and also behind the scenes there, Nori Astra, doing the tracking and keeping us on task here. Greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure to check out the Randomania network schedule. You can see the link on chat, as well as following all of the Randomania channels, Randomania 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or I should say Randomania as well as 2, 3, and 4. And that's going to just about do it for us here, as it has gone deep into the night. So for all of our runners in first and second races here on Monday Night Warrior, for my co-commentator Reusation, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everybody.